through 25 says, "Do not merely listen to the word and so deceive yourselves. Do what it says. Anyone who listens to the word but does not do what it says is like someone who looks at his face in a mirror and after looking at himself goes away and immediately forgets what he looks like. But whoever looks intently into the perfect law that gives freedom and continues in it, not forgetting what they have heard but doing it, they will be blessed in what they do."
High school. Some of the best, yet most stressful times of our lives, or so we think. I love the analogy that James uses here in this passage. He says that the Word of God is like a mirror. And while thinking about this, I kind of thought of a funhouse mirror and how the world, Satan, and a lot of times the attitudes of our schools try to put that funhouse mirror in front of us and distort the way we see ourselves. And we forget the way that God truly sees us inside and out. I had this picture put up here because it really shows what funhouse mirrors do. It takes a girl who's skinny and makes her look fat, and that's just one of the things that a lot of times the funhouse mirror the devil tries to use against us. I know this because it happened to me a year ago. I carried that funhouse mirror everywhere I went, and it let to distort who I was, whether it was at church, school, home, with friends. No matter where I was somebody different. And it really ruined friendships and broke some major trust with a lot of people that I had at the time, and I'm still working on repairing those. And I deceived myself. I thought I'd be fine just going to youth group and going to church on Sundays, and I thought that's all I had to do and not, as James says here, listen to the word. I deceived myself. And there are a couple of things that I learned from my mistake. Number one is that looking into a mirror does not make you any prettier. And I know that's not a very deep concept, but if you can just bear with me, because looking into a mirror, if you look into a mirror and see a blemish on your face, it's not until you apply the makeup that the mirror has done you any good. And I think a lot of times God's word's like that too. We can read it all we want to, and the Holy Spirit will work inside of us, but it will just show us what we need to do to change in our lives or change things that we see ourselves as. The second thing that I learned, and I think was one of the most important, is that God will do whatever it takes to get us back living fully for Him. Whether it's, in my case, letting me get in trouble. Notice how I said the word letting, not him putting that trouble to there. He let that happen in my life. And it takes back truly living on Him, because the Bible is very clear, as verse 22 says, "Do not merely listen to the word and so deceive yourselves. Do what it says." We, as our theme says, is a generation born to stand. So as we continue to live out our lives in college, work, military, or beyond, don't just listen and read the Bible, but do what God says. Pray, go to church, love one another, read His word, and most of all, be the light and salt of the earth. Because as James says in verse 25, you will be blessed in what you do.